Hello everybody and welcome to YCS London 2017. I'm Rob Hooley and with me is Luke Withington and Matthew Bell.
Hello.
Hey Rob, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. We've got a good event coming on. I've cracked out the bow tie, so you know it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And it's only the only time that it is a good one is when the bow tie's out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like that's a fair measure of an event.
Yeah.
We had something pretty special just happen, didn't we?
It was amazing. We had the voice of Yugi and Kaiba, Eric Stewart and Dan Green, come out and just introduce the YCS there. Kaiba being very, very Kaiba and telling everybody that they are terrible duelists.
Yeah.
Whilst Yugi was telling us to believe in the heart of the cards, whilst Kaiba was then a bit, you always say that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and everyone in the room. It was. You could just feel the energy in the room
Goosebumps.
when they were talking. It was great.
Oh, it was amazing.
Absolutely
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we have a very cool round one for you. We have the winner of YCS Liverpool,
Yeah.
Thomas Rose, who was playing Quentin Mittwede. I've been told that that's kind of how you say that. Sorry if I did butcher your name there. I got a thumbs up.
You nailed it.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's good. Now, randomly, I know you'll see later in our meta discussion, our welcome, we talk a lot about the fact that everybody's going to be playing Spirals and it's going to be a huge dominator. In our round one, we have an ABC mirror.
It's basically YCS Liverpool. Yeah.
It's basically YCS Liverpool, yeah.
And Tom is in his element.
He is.
Yeah.
Now, you just had a quick look at the stats there, kind of what's been going on between these two.
Yeah, so to explain, we got all of the tournament files from the entire of the previous season. So I've not got anything from the Netherlands WCQ onwards yet. I'll sort those out after this round. But for last season, if you compare the win rates of the two players, we have Quentin on 58.9% and Tom Rose is on 72%.
What was how many tournaments did each of those players play, by the way?
So Tom Rose played 21 tournaments and Quentin played 10. Yeah, all across various things. Both players played in their national championships, and then various regionals at YCSs as well. We can see Quentin played in YCS Prague.
So statistically, we're looking at Tom Rose probably winning this one.
Yeah, but the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh, you can never predict it based purely on that stats.
Definitely. Now, the main event has started, so we should probably head straight on over to our table and see how our guys are doing. Just getting word to the players that they can start there. Whilst they're just getting ready and shaking hands and drawing the first opening hands that we're loading in, let's have a quick look at the deck series. You said that there's some interesting stuff about Thomas Rose's deck there.
Yeah, so he's playing the an ABC Invoked variant. He's just got the one Alistair in with his A, B, and C cards. He's also playing staggering 16 hand traps across this deck.
Wow.
That's
He's
really
he's
prepared for Spiral.
So that's a turn 2 deck if there ever was one.
Yeah, I was talking to Thomas a little bit before we started, and he's actually built this deck specifically to beat Spiral. He's a very firm believer of you should never play the best deck in the room, as you're at best giving yourself a 60-40 chance in the matchups where you're better than the other player in the mirror. And he said he's of the opinion where people say, hey, the most skilled mirror matches are the one that proves the best player. And he said, but I'm here to win the tournament. And having a real grind game is not my way of winning a big tournament. I'm just here to steamroll people.
Now,
that's a good way of putting it.
Definitely. In the hand there, we've got Magical Meltdown, Emergency Teleport, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, Cyphering Gear, Gamma and Invocation. And over on Quentin's side, we have B Buster Drake, A Assault Core, Gold Gadget, A Pot of Desires, and Raigeki.
A little bit more conventional action from Quentin on start there. But Tom is going to feel pretty good when if he spots his opponents playing the ABC, if he goes Gold Gadget into something else. So if he goes Gold Gadget into B Buster Drake, Tom will slam down the Winter Cherries and strip all of the ABCs out of his opponent, ABC Dragon Busters from his opponent's deck. That's one potential line. It depends on what Tom decides to end with here. The beauty about this, actually, is he doesn't give away that he's playing an ABC core when he's only showing the invoked part of his deck.
Yes.
Which is just such a small engine that you can include because all of the cards go into your extra deck instead of your main deck, which is a really cool way of adding an extra theme or a different dimension to your deck.
What's Tom's teleport target?
Emergency Teleport. Going through. The Cyframes are psychics, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, teleporting them in doesn't seem necessarily...
He's got Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit as well, which is
okay,
target.
That's probably it, yeah.
level 3 as well.
I'm a huge fan of emergency teleport in general, so it's a great include. It's just another monster that you can,
I'll stay with an invocation.
Pop
He's
out
dropped
field.
the Cyphering Gear. That's a
Syndication.
Mechaba, I believe.
That is correct. The actual probably reason he's playing that emergency teleport is to get out of set rotation locks, so he can get Ancient Fairy Dragon access very quickly.
Yeah, I thought I was wondering if there was any other targets, but if that's the one case of it, then that's a good case.
So I know I like to talk about inane stuff, but the fact that Tom is using yellow sleeves is just really interesting to me, because you only ever see players playing like black sleeves or white sleeves.
We've
Yeah.
just started and we're already talking about sleeves. I thought we'd get at least through a few rounds.
It's a
before
long
we start
weekend.
talking
Stay
about
with me.
sleeves. All right, please put forward your case. Why are the yellow sleeves the?
Why is the yellow sleeves interesting? Again,
Yeah.
it's because most players choose to play either white sleeves or black sleeves.
I've got it. It's because yellow is the same color as oil, and it definitely needs to be a well-oiled
No,
machine.
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
What oil are you using?
Vegetable oil.
Anyway, Pot Desires there. I think we can see the targets that got hit, and it looks like, well, I definitely saw at least a soul charge in there.
Seems pretty legitimate to me, I was saying.
Yeah. So forcing the playing the Regeki to force the Mechaba in the gate will allow Quentin to secure his Pot of Desires and pick up 2 extra cards, but he's picked up a bunch of monsters. Now, the issue here is oh, okay, cockle-doodle-doo. I did not see that one loading in.
Yeah, actually, his deck list is in German, so I can't really tell.
Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. Entschuldigung, speaking English.
Height.
Oh, okay, you're going to switch to Japanese now.
That's Gold Gadget? I don't know. I'm colorblind.
That is actually Gold Gadget.
Excellent.
I didn't realize you were colorblind.
Yeah, I'm colorblind.
Yeah, Robert actually is. There was no joke there. He can't tell.
So all of these fantastic ties I've been wearing are all
I know the difference between the color of your ties.
Okay,
It-
that's the
it's-
important part. That's the only part that matters.
Okay, Matt's understanding of what colorblind is and what it actually is two different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the part where Tom may consider throwing down the Winter Cherries to strip the ABC Dragon Busters. Chooses not to yet. Potential Decode Talker play coming up for Quentin. Nope, there comes the 4th card. Tom lets it go.
Yeah, no, here's Deco Talker. Now
Yeah.
he would do it.
He's nodding away.
Yeah, well, B effect, he can still do it after he searches this. I would, right? There's no reason not to. He's got 2 monsters now, so he's ahead in monsters. He can play it. That's its condition, Winter Cherries.
True, yeah, as long as the opponent controls more monsters, then he's able to use that. Actually, Tom's in a bit of a weird position, because if he uses the Ghost Reaper to strip the ABC Dragon Busters from Quentin's deck, okay, of course, Quentin can't attack over because the Alistair in Tom's hand could just be thrown out to run over the blow up the Decode Talker.
Yeah. Ghost Reaper. How many cards in hand?
I think
Ash
it was
Blossom.
passed. Did he just draw pass?
No, he's just asked how many cards are in hand, I believe.
Okay.
Just checking out Cockle-Doodle-Doo's numbers.
Checking the chicken.
I think that was really weird to commit to Decode Talker play without the intention of making an attack. Especially after the Mechaba had already committed to a negation for this turn. I would have thought the priority would have been getting that off
Get
the
off it,
table
yeah.
while,
Yeah,
while it was unprotected, and knowing that you've got the Ash Blossom for your opponent's follow-up Alistair. There we go. Now he's going to take ABCs away from his opponent.
Yeah.
After his opponent's already committed as many resources as possible, all 3 of them getting ripped out. That's a tough break
Ouch.
for Quentin.
So
That's a bad day for Quentin.
if you're Quentin right now, are you thinking to yourself, why is this guy playing
ABC.
ABC Dragon Buster in his extra deck? Did he
Well,
just
no,
meta call?
'cause it's a Ghost Reapers. I mean, to be fair, we saw in Dallas that there was at least like 1 in the top 32.
Yeah.
So it's something that people would think, oh, I'll throw it
Yeah.
in just in case.
So
There's
still right now, Quentin does not know what deck Thomas is actually playing.
yeah. Well, he thinks he's playing Invoked, surely.
Yeah.
But looking here is just remembering how to use this. It's been a while. Just putting up Mechaba there if you don't know what it does.
It's like a dude on a chariot thing.
Yeah.
Mechaba, extremely powerful card. With once per turn, you can discard a card that matches what your opponent is trying to play, and you can negate that card and banish it. Very important, considering how grave dependent this format actually is.
Just like Ultimate Providence. that passed us is going to tell you all about that in a couple of rounds, because we saw Mechaba for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quentin is in a really rough position now because he's consolidated quite a few of his resources into that deco token with the intent to make ABC Dragon Busters and then start pressing the game out from there. But losing those ABC Dragon Busters is now, he's just put a bunch of cards into a deco token that he knows he can't attack with.
As expected, Thomas is drawing nothing but hand traps now. Like, that's...
When you play 16, that's...
yeah, that's to be expected.
If you don't know what ABCs are, if you've ever actually watched Yu-Gi-Oh, remember that duel on top of a plane? And Kaiba was playing with them.
The XYZs?
Yeah, it's that, but better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, so they combine together. They can, so generally fusion monsters need polymerization, not nowadays, but yeah, that's the general gist of fusion monsters. An ABC Dragon Buster can just be made with the monsters in the graveyard. So you banish them from your graveyard and then can just summon it. So you can make great use of them while they're on the field, using the ABCs to make stuff like Decode Talker. And then when they get sent to the graveyard by creating Decode Talker, then you can just use them for a Dragon Buster.
And here's an overlay.
Into Baguska.
Yes.
That's pretty rough. While in defense mode, its effects are negated, so the Deco Talker's going to have no trouble running into that here. Yep. Tom's going to let that one go and draw a new card. He does have access to the Alistair, but we know that Quentin is prepared with the Ash Blossom. And even if Tom did try to push out with Alistair, we've got Babuska. Can we get a Babuska up on the screen, as it's a relatively new card? Oh, I see. Very powerful new, very powerful new Exceed monster introduced from Circuit Break. It does, however, have a time limit on it, where you have to detach materials from it from each end phase. So it's not a true floodgate to your opponent that's going to prevent them playing until they deal with your card. Your card does expire eventually.
Tom's going to have to give this a read. Surprised it's not in German.
The camera's being shook a lot there. I wonder if our tech team could see something about that.
I just find like if your eyes roll the screen, it's fine.
Or like being on a boat.
Yeah, it's fine.
You get less seasick.
Babuska going to attack and attacking the Ash Blossom Joy Spring, and 2,800 points of damage going straight towards Tom. He's yet to see a single ABC monster, and I think at this point he's in a position where pulling them is not exactly great to him.
No.
Oh, there is another Ghost Reaper and Wind
Surely he knew this was going to happen, though, right? He's played that many.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be pretty difficult for Tom to get into now.
Yeah, that's super rough. He needs to, like, top deck Invocation and things like that.
Somebody else is...
To be honest with you, it's just kaijus. People keep summoning kaijus out on the floor, and then they come out, and everything shakes. I'm so sorry. We'll try and keep the kaijus in check.
So the camera shake is from kaijus?
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
Sounds
again.
Entirely plausible.
Yeah.
Quentin should absolutely be looking to see if he can get the magic numbers here to close the duel out.
Yeah.
He should be anticipating that Tom is just holding a handful of hand traps and not actually, he's not got any gas there to work with.
Yeah, a little bit tough that he's not got his Dragon Busters, though. That's the kind of...
I would have
felt... big chunk of damage.
I would have felt great if I was Tom. It's like, okay, yeah, rip all your Dragon Busters. All right, from here on out, I should be able to start laying into my opponent. And then he just never, he's just like drawing...
I think Quentin made a field before he could really... He stripped that engine, but it didn't really matter because the field was already there.
Yeah. So
for Quentin to really be able to do stuff.
Quentin still can't really expand on his board presence here. Tom's just got to hope he draws Invocation or another Alistair. What is that? Looks like a Dragon Shrine.
In Quentin's hand,
No.
No,
Dragon
and Tom's
Shrine.
hand.
Yep.
Dragon Shrine. Okay, yeah, so he gets to send a Dragon-type monster from his deck to the graveyard.
Just move with it, guys.
If he sends a normal monster, a normal dragon, he gets to send an additional card.
Yeah, we're on a boat at the moment.
Is that why we're in the Docklands?
Yeah.
Ah.
If you've got more information about the Docklands, Luke knows a guy who's very much keyed in on all of the historical.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much fun. Like, I don't really have any facts about it. I wish I did, but I don't.
But your boss literally wrote the book on it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The entire history of the Docklands.
In his free time,
It's
whenever you get some. Okay.
Yeah, free time.
okay. Just
Do I?
It's going to be able to do some
I want some.
action here. That's what the Dragon Shrine was for. Unsure as to why he's not playing Foolish Burial, but that's okay. Is there a reason? Is he playing a Foolish Burial, Matt?
Yes.
Okay,
And
that's
he's
the
playing
reason.
2 Dragon Shrine.
Okay, so he's playing 3 Foolish Burial, as far as for all intents and purposes concerned for him.
Is he going to be able to pull us back from here?
He's going to be able to make a pretty decent Synchro Monster right now.
Yeah.
Well, Destrudo is also a tuner, so he's got 2 tuners in play. But
Oh,
it
sorry,
has really high defense, so he's giving himself the best opportunity to
yeah.
pick something up. And because he has a Ghost Ogre on the Tom has a Ghost Ogre on the field as well. Not only is it now blocking his opponent's attacks, if Quentin does try to activate something, he can still tribute the Ghost Ogre from the field to get its effect. And of course, by controlling a monster on the field, he was able to get back his Destrudo. So he gets the benefits of Ghost Ogre whilst also being able to build a defensive wall.
Oh,
Union Hanger just to come down.
that's pretty good.
Is that a C?
Eh.
That's an A.
A.
And yep, Tom's just going to go ahead and use his Ghost Ogre to clear out
Yeah.
the Union Hanger.
Good idea.
Union Hanger is a really devastating card.
Yeah, it is.
If it sticks around for more than a turn, the favor for the ABC player, or in this case, they're both ABC players, to win, just starts skyrocketing.
There it is on screen for you.
Tom,
For long.
any monster would be good here. A Druid Terraforming, that's a very good start because that gets a Union Hanger, and there is no, I don't believe there's any more cards in Quentin's hand that's going to interrupt that play.
There is not. There's only a Dragon Ravine in hand.
Okay, so Tom's going to be free to... oh, no, there was a Twin Twister on the field. That's going to clear that out, and Tom is going to be...
Left in the same position he was in.
Unfortunately, the Destrudo wall is not going to hold up for very much longer.
Yeah, as soon as he
If
gets
Quentin
some
pulls
monster.
another monster, summons it directly below the Deco Talker, he'll then have enough attack points to get over it.
Let's see
And
what
then
happens.
he'll be able to end the duel.
It just depends whether Quentin has those hearts in the cards.
Or any monster.
Yeah. And
Don't ruin this for me.
For Tom to get back in this, oh yeah, it's a monster. I don't know
It
what
is a
though.
monster. Which monster?
Yep.
Oh. Gold Gadget.
Attack, attack, attack.
Swing. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tom not getting anywhere there.
He's picking it up.
Way
Now,
too many
but-
hand traps.
Knowing the kind of position that he was in, it's a hard one, really. He wouldn't have known that the Twin Twisters are there, but I don't know whether I would have picked up my cards before my opponent knew I was playing ABC.
Well, he had to play. He was fine if he could play the Resolve the Union Hanger.
Yeah.
He was then able to start getting into the game, and Quentin had lost his primary resource for his deck. So Tom would have been able to turn the corner and get back into the game. But when that Twin Twister countered off the ABC, sorry, the Union Hanger, it was Tom just wasn't going to make anything happen. It was just a hope my opponent doesn't draw a monster plan, which is never a strong one when most decks are going over 20. More than 50% of their deck being made up of this.
Yeah, it looks like Tom's taking out one of every single one of his hand traps to side in there. What's he got in his side deck that he's bringing in?
So, looking at this, if Tom decides to go first, the Imperial Order is relevant. He has Scoldings. He's not playing any other trap cards at all. Tom's also playing Lord Gaia and the Satellanite Saphraxian in case he gets either of those sent over his way from the set rotations. Looking at Quentin's side deck.
Yes. Kaiju, Cosmic Cyclone, Book of Eclipse, Dimensional Barrier, Abyss Dweller.
So Dimensional
Not quite sure what that
Barrier and the Eclipses could be relevant here, and the Kaijus, of course, very relevant against an ABC Dragon Buster.
Definitely.
Or even Mechabuzz, if you have to just get rid of them so you can actually start pushing out. Really bad luck for Tom there.
If he'd have been playing against Spiral, that match would have been so different. He had all the hand traps to be able to control. He just had nothing to break a field presence.
Yeah, he would have. He had the Mechabuzz as well, which probably would have stuck around. But that's just that's how tournaments go. When you build your deck to deal with one specific situation, there is a weakness to playing that many, diluting your deck with that many hand traps.
Yeah.
He was all about disrupting his opponent, but his opponent only needed to resolve one monster to actually start putting the work in.
Yeah.
As you said yesterday, it's like Spiral like two wrecking balls just smashing against each other and trying to pick up the pieces. Tom's deck is aiming to make sure that they never get to swing the wrecking ball.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to stay firmly in a locked position,
Yeah.
conforming to all health and safety regulations.
That's that music video for, was it Miley Cyrus and the Wrecking Ball? And somebody
that's it.
Yeah, that's
somebody
what-
put Nicolas Cage's face on that, and that's now all I think of whenever I think of the word Wrecking Ball. It's just
it's
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage on Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like really weird.
Do
So
you know what I
weird.
just realised
What was that?
there is no Duel Links music.
Yeah, there isn't.
Are we meant to have
Rob,
it?
you're going to need to start humming it. We have to cut back on the budget.
Mm.
All right, stop. That's awful. That's awful. My bad. I should not have suggested that.
For now.
What if our tech team could enlighten us on that?
We're just getting the hands loading in as we
Duel
get
Links
ready
music?
for game 2 in this best of 3 match between Quentin and Tom Rose. Quentin's in a very good position here. From last season's match history, Tom is technically favored in that regard. He did decide to come in with the anti-spell fragrances as well. Magical Midbreaker Field.
Yeah, what is that? There's a card that I didn't recognize.
Here you go. Activate at the start of your main phase 1 or 2. During each player's main phase 1, monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by their opponent's card effects. Also, neither player can target a monster to their opponent's controls. You cannot activate or set field spell cards.
Ah, interesting, because he gives it to your opponent with the...
Set rotation.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
It completely locks out Union Hanger.
Yeah. Well, and Spiral Resort.
Yeah. But I'm talking in this matchup.
Yeah, in this match, yeah.
Interesting stuff. All right, we're going to see Foolish Barrow on Destrudo. Is it Destrudo? I'm pretty sure it's Destrudo.
Destrudo.
Let me look here.
Ask the English major to check that out for us.
Pretty sure it's Destrudo. It's just there.
Oh, so it is. Yeah, it's just Destrudo.
And we're going to see Synchro Summon with Alistair the Invoker. And Ancient Fairy Dragon, a very popular, probably the most popular Synchro monster this weekend.
Yeah. It was great during Dragon Ruler format.
Very, very powerful here in this interaction because Ancient Fairy Dragon can grant an extra special summon. It's actually been a long time since I've seen Ancient Fairy Dragon.
Yeah, it has.
Last time will have been in 2014
Yeah,
with the
Wow.
Kid Moto combo.
long time ago.
And Tom being able to secure the... there we go, see? He's able to secure the Union Hanger, now start putting together Union Hanger plays.
Yeah.
And then he's going to back it up with an anti-spell fragrance and a Solemn Scolding. That's going to put the work in against Quentin, who's going to have a Pot of Desires and a Terraforming that he's not able to use. But he does have Cockle-Doodle-Doo and two B and C monsters. Do you have the text there for Cockle-Doodle-Doo?
I will have a look for you. I do not. Wait. If Luke will have a look for me.
And we're going to see the Invocation
And there's the Mechaba.
and the Mechaba to back this field up.
I like Mechaba.
Of course, Tom's using the Ancient Fairy Dragon as a material, getting it off the field, and then switching to a different extra deck zone.
Cockle do if if there are no monsters on the field, so both players, you can special summon this card from your hand as level 3. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no cards, you can special summon it as a level 4, and when it leaves the field, it's banished instead.
Okay, that's actually quite unfortunate because there's not going to be. Yeah, we can see anti-spell fragrance. So it's level 8 synchro monsters in Quentin's deck. Probably Psyframe Omega. Sorry guys, my German is just not that great.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, this anti-spell fragrance actually locked Quentin down pretty hard. He actually drew Regeki as well, so he would have been able to clear this field out, gain some more advantage using Pot of Desires, terraforming for the Union Hanger. He was away if it wasn't for this anti-spell fragrance. Now he's going to be limited to pretty much summoning Omega.
Oh, he could also go for a rank 4 play because the Cockle-Doodle-Doo is also 4.
Or a rank 4, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know.
I think you just special summon the Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. Doesn't it become level 3?
Only if both players control no monsters.
Right.
Well, nothing. If there's nothing on the field, then it's level 3.
Number 41, here he comes again.
It's pretty reasonable.
The terribly tired Tapir, and Solemn Scolding is going to just say no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Quentin reading the card.
That is really interesting because Tom's playing Destrudo and he's also playing Scoldings in his deck. So he's paying half his life, then 3,000.
Yeah.
The Ancient Fairy Dragon giving 1,000 life points back.
Who needs life points?
But, yeah, well, you only need 1 to win. And paying them for cost is way more efficient than having them beaten out of you.
Yes.
Do you think
yes, it is.
Tom's going to see through the bluff here and just swing?
Yeah, there's in this format, which is very trap light, and your opponent knowing they're going second, likely not to play trap cards because they'll have to wait till like turn 3 to use them. Tom knows he's in a very safe position, and because the anti-spell fragrance is up, Quentin was going to panic set all his spell cards onto the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's in Tom. I can only think in Tom's mind right now. There's no chance any of those are trap cards.
Yeah, Tom is most likely going to be looking for a game shot here if he can get away with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if he wanted to pull up a Deco Talker, he'd have to get rid of his Mechaba.
Yeah, and Invocation's not going to be able to be played either because of that spell fragrance.
Sure. Well, I think Tom's going to be pretty happy to just throw that down for next turn.
Yeah. I can see that I think that's basically it, unless he wants to start making stuff with that Mechaba, but it's worth too much, I think.
Yeah, because Quentin has access to Pot of Desires, Regeki, and Terraforming. So Quentin's got a lot of plays open.
His next turn is going to be phenomenal.
If he gets one.
Yeah. I do think that the Mechaba is going to negate the Regeki, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. I don't think you try and... Terraforming is super slow here, so I feel like that card's essentially a blank because he plays a Terraforming and then has to set a field spell.
Yeah.
So it's the Regeki and Pot of Desires, or do you Pot of Desires and then panic Regeki? It depends on the other cards in your hand. I don't think a Bee-Buster Drake is good enough on its own. So, yeah, you're right. He's going to just try and slam the Regeki and go for two additional cards.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I think... Yeah, it's a really difficult situation. I think you have to Pot of Desires and then slam Regeki. There's no way around it because...
Oh, and then summon Buster and hope to get in.
Yeah.
Well, Tom is holding 3 spell cards.
Yeah. Actually, by the time we get to the end of the turn, I'm expecting Tom to have set 2 and one in hand. So he's going to keep Magical Midbreaker Field in hand.
So that he's got the spell
negate. And then at that point, me as Quentin would feel way safer on doing that play of making the Regeki the safe card. Interestingly, Tom is gonna go with a Link summon.
4 material.
3. One of them was a equip.
Ah, you're right. Of course.
What's he going for?
It's gonna be Dakota Talker.
More than likely. Yep, there it is.
Okay, so the Mechaba actually ends up not being on the field at all, so Rageki's going to clean him out.
Yeah.
And Import Desire. So Quentin actually very possible to have a game shot next turn.
Yeah.
But actually this way, interestingly, Crush Wyvern, when it's sent to the graveyard, allows you to special summon a B or C monster from your hand. And Tom's now going to get a search, so he's definitely going to have the card in his hand to special summon when his opponent plays the Regeki card.
Judges doing a quick check there.
There's quite a few cards that Quentin could draw.
Some kind
Well,
of.
it would have been good if Tom didn't have the Sea Crush Wyvern. There was a number of things like Gold Gadget and stuff that could have got in there had he resolved the Regeki. So there were quite a few life draws in Quentin's deck. Oh, the question is just Tom just go push out with the ABC Dragon Buster, strip one of those cards on the back row, and he's got like a 33% chance of hitting the Regeki.
That is a good point.
And then during his opponent's draw phase, he could throw out another one and then be on 50-50. So he's got a couple of shots at it. But I don't know if Tom would heavily commit into that without knowing that the Regeki is set.
Just have to see what he goes for. Oh, he's going for another.
Where's he going to go up to? He's going to be
Firewall
Firewall.
Dragon.
Firewall.
This is interesting. Is he going to be able to?
Yep, here's
Yep.
the ABC.
Still, we're going to see a Regeki just clean this out.
Depends if Tom goes for the banish. He passes, which implies that he's not going to be using it during his opponent's turn. So Regeki's going to be the first card flipped up. Oh no, Pot Desires.
Actually,
first.
yeah, there's no reason to Regeki first now, is there?
Yeah, because your opponent's already got rid of the Mechaba.
Yeah. There's
So
no reason to
take your
order
additional cards and then decide how you're going to play it out.
That. Yeah. Best to know all of the information before making a choice.
See, he drew into Crush Wyvern for his turn draw. Let's see what he got with Pot Desires. See a spell card and a trap card.
There's the Regeki.
Tom's eyebrows lifted quite high there when he saw the Regeki.
Yeah, may as well use the effects just to get the effects of.
Yeah, now this triggers so many things.
Yeah.
And then
Triggers
Tom...
me.
I'm sorry, the stream didn't come with a trigger warning beforehand. Should I write that on the...
It was a
on
set
the page?
rotation and dimensional barrier that he drew into there with his Pot Desires.
Ah, okay.
Dim Barrier is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Dimensional barrier, definitely. Especially since both sides of Tom's deck is fusion base. So Tom's going to get a search. He gets to add back a monster from his graveyard, and he gets to special summon one monster from his hand.
Both of them have so low life points at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But looking at Tom Rose's field, is he going to be able to
If he's going to have
survive
another...
this turn?
Yeah, Tom has got actually quite a solid tar pit. When I say tar pit, I mean ways of making your opponent's battle phase super inefficient. Like when you, for example, had the Sir and Dante loop, and your opponent
Yeah.
had to crawl through it or have an out to it, otherwise their battle phase was never going to be effective. And you saw it again with True Dracos when you had Return of the True Kings, the trap card just constantly bringing back these giant walls and then
Yeah.
eventually running your opponent over. But in this situation, if Tom's monster gets removed, he gets to special summon another monster from his hand as well. So then he can keep this wall, he can keep this going. And he's got has Tom got another Crush Wyvern in his hand? Yeah.
Tom has another Crush
Yeah,
Wyvern
so he
in
can
hand.
go Crush Wyvern,
Yeah.
and then when that gets destroyed, he can put another monster into play. So Quentin is going to have a hard time breaking through this, and then Tom's got access. He's going to force the dimensional barrier during the draw phase from Quentin to stop him just doing ABC Dragon Buster and winning the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly what's happened. But that doesn't shut down Tom's Link possibilities or even his Exi plays. And Quentin doesn't have anything else of relevance face down, does he? Just has set rotation.
Yep. Terraforming, Crush Wyvern, set rotation on field.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't play the terraforming last turn.
I don't know if he left it up. It's just a potential bluff to try and draw out fire from Tom, because he knows how slow it's going to be.
Why bluff though? You could have a set terraforming ready to be like, well, I'm going to win next turn if you don't deal with me. That's even more scary. I definitely think he should have played the terraforming.
That's definitely a very strong case for it. He's not. I don't think Quentin's actually set himself up to win the game next turn. That's something he's trying to see about how I can survive, not how can I win.
Yeah.
And that's Boral. Yep.
Nice.
There it is.
Quentin says that's it.
Quentin says, "You've got me, man." But Quentin, for the first... well, actually, I don't know who won the dice roll originally. I don't know if Tom elected to go first.
I don't think Tom would elect to go first.
Based on his deck build
game.
and his strategy for the event, when I was speaking to him before, I think he pretty much always wants to go second.
Yeah.
He wants to see the sixth card, and he wants to disrupt his opponent's setup.
We heard this from Marcello in Dallas as well, didn't we? Because Marcello was over there, wasn't he?
Yeah, wanted to go second.
Always wanted to go second. Filled his deck with hand traps also. He was playing Spiral back then, I think?
He was, yes. I've spoken to him this morning. He's told me that he's actually changed his strategy from Dallas. He's got a completely different build that he's going to be playing at this event.
Well, I'm sure we'll feature him later on in the top cut. That just always seems to be... Like, I'd like to say...
Tomorrow's in the final when we're featuring Marcello.
Yeah, I'd like to say, that maybe there's a chance that won't happen, but Marcello is just... if you even look at his last season...
We have the stats on how likely it is that he will end up in the final.
No, we have his last season win record, which is staggering.
Yeah. Wasn't it 85% win ratio?
Yeah. If you
Highest of any EU OC territory.
Yeah, if you sat down in front of Marcello last season, any time between Berlin and Utrecht, you were going to lose 85% of the time.
The next highest, in case you're wondering, was 79% Alpi Engen, I believe.
Something like that, yeah. I think one of the... Yes, so that's based on having to have played 10 events, I think it was.
Yeah.
With only 5 events, there was Stephen Lau with, I think it was 81%, had 7 events under his belt. So, yeah, we can take a look and...
Yeah, just in case you're wondering a little bit about those stats, that's only Tier 2 or higher tournaments. So we're talking regionals, YCSs, national championships, WCQ.
Yeah.
We've not included any of the local level events, and we do not have US data in there, which we do know Marcello and both Joshua Smith also played a little bit over there to pick up points for the World Championships.
Yeah.
All right, so the players have made their siding decisions and are shuffling up for Game 3, the final game of this set.
Stats are sort of coming in at the moment. I don't believe they're complete, but we'll talk a lot about them in the next round. But it's looking like Spiral may be a big hit, as we thought it would be.
Get your lab coats, guys. We're all pretending to be quick fix this weekend.
Still think Spiral tough is Adrian Economy.
I'm not going to comment on that.
It looks like him.
Coincidence.
Definitely coincidence. And the blue suit that he always wears at events.
Just another coincidence. Just another coincidence.
Right, hands should be loading in very soon. What can you see there?
Tom has, what am I?
Set rotation.
Yeah, set rotation.
B, busted
Crush,
rate.
Terraforming. I can't make out the other 2 cards.
Some good stuff. He's got some good stuff.
Ah, there we go. Alistair, Buster, Crush, Terraforming, set rotation. If Tom's going first, that hand is great. If he's not, that is not so cool. Yeah, oh, wow. Quentin trying to catch Tom with the same trick, hoping that Tom would then slide back into his hand trap strategy. And so he's now forced Tom to go first, where he thought that put him at a disadvantage. However, Tom now has access to his set rotation as well on turn 1. And he's got Destrudo to go Ancient Fairy Dragon to now let him go into the ABC side of his deck, playing through the Ash Blossom.
So he's got a hugely strong start here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom's hand is great if he was going first. If he was going second, I'd feel a little bit wary about it because he's got a lot of cards to try and put together a combo, but not necessarily suited for playing into an established field. But I think Tom actually dodging a bullet, even though he may not have been expecting to go first in this game.
Is the vote tool live?
It is, yeah. As with every event, I'm sure it's being posted in Twitch chat already.
I mean, I know we're very nearing the end of this match, but let's have a look. There's Ancient Fairy Dragon.
Yep, that's going to clear that out and get another field spell. It's a very good chance Tom is going to just hold back that set rotation for his set that. So if his opponent tries to tag him with evenly matched, Tom's going to be able to respond in the battle phase and give his opponent a face down card, so he can't do that.
Evenly matched is a ridiculously strong card.
It's very, very strong. I think the main reason it's main thing holding it back right now is set rotation.
Yeah.
Because field spells are so important to every single deck that it makes perfect sense to just play it as additional copies of Terraforming while stopping your opponent from actually doing stuff, giving them the Gateway to Chaos or the Zephyr field spell, Oracle of the Zephyr. Proxy Dragon,
Proxy.
Crush is going to trigger, and Bee Buster is also going to trigger. A Assault Core coming down. Decode Talker, you're up next. ABC Dragon Buster Cannon coming down. Very, very good start for Tom.
I always call it Dragon Buster Cannon as well.
Set the set rotation and says go. Quentin is going to be able to play Interrupted Kaiju Slumber to clear this up, but then Tom is going to be able to break apart his ABC Dragon Buster, get a bunch of cards back from that exchange.
Yep, there's the Kaiju Slumber.
Tom's just like, it's like Regeki all over again.
Kaiju Slumber does
Like
is a
this.
giveaway that Quentin is not going to be playing evenly matched this turn, so Tom can consider whether or not he wants to go with the set rotation.
This is Mako's theme.
I know, it's great. Oh, have my Gamesio.
He always shows up in
So I
always
think
just shows up and breaks down cities.
I think we're actually pretty close to having all of the decks entered.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so
very cool.
I'm being told there's only 3 lists remaining to
Oh,
be entered, so we may be able to have our deck breakdown pretty soon.
could do it after this game, maybe.
We could. That would possibly be the earliest deck breakdown we've ever had.
Yeah.
Quentin's got a lot to push out with here.
Good job, our judge team.
Full credit to Quentin playing this, pushing out in this match against statistically a stronger opponent here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's driving it to game 3, and he managed to clear up that field pretty easily from Thomas, and he's got some other plays that he can make. And he also now has Ash Blossom in his hand as well. There's a set rotation to counter the Union Hanger.
Okay.
Tom is going to be feeling absolutely amazing about that.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to give him. Definitely not a Union Hand.
It will definitely be the one that stops him from playing any, surely.
Magical
Oh.
Meltdown. He knows his opponent can't resolve that. He would have seen it way earlier if his opponent was able
Yeah.
to play the Invocation part of his deck.
Yeah.
If he was playing Invocation in his deck. Sorry.
There you go.
There we go.
There you
The
go.
words came out as a salad as such.
I
But
got it.
had a meaning.
Actually, I didn't even.
No, I
hear-
got what you said.
I didn't even like hear the order of your words. I just knew what you said.
Yeah.
Is it just a tone of my voice? It's just like he's
It's one of
saying
those
something.
things where, like, in the English language, our brains kind of don't care what order the words are in, as long as the words are there.
You'd think that'd make
It's why
learning
Yoda works, because otherwise nobody would know what he's saying.
true. It actually makes
Funny
learning
you
a
are.
language like Japanese very difficult. Because just the language structure is so different from ours.
Yeah, it is.
And Tom is going to be feeling pretty good about this turn. He's got his field spell good to go, and he's also got A, B, and C all in his graveyard ready to make Dragon Buster number 2.
Question is, can he make a Deco Talker before? So I think the answer is no.
He did draw a Blackwing Gofu, but
no.
he's already got more cards on the field now.
He's trying to work it out here if it's possible. Because he's got a Union Hanger.
Yeah, he could be potentially considering, can I actually get to 2 Buster Drakes? But then I don't think he can make a... Oh, wait, interesting. He could actually, because of the placement of where Quentin has put his monster in defense mode, there is a potential Alkaist Magician play open to Tom if Tom is actually playing it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
Which he's not.
We see
He's
the
not
Dragon
playing.
Buster come down anyway.
Tom might be considering throwing out that Gofu that he can't do anything with. It's a great recovery card, but he's pretty low on life points as it is, and if his opponent breaks for his field, there's every chance that he doesn't ever get a chance to play it. So he might be considering throwing out the Gofu to banish a card. No, he's just going to go for the attacks and hold the cards in his hand. Actually, no. Again, Tom, if his ABC Dragon Buster is threatened, he's going to have to... Actually, no, sorry. Okay, it's almost like watching a Yugi and Kaiba duel going, actually, I activate this, actually, you activate that. Tom knows that there is a interrupted Kaiju Slumber in Quentin's graveyard, so he can banish that to get a Kaiju to go over the ABC Dragon Buster. So Tom, preemptively knowing this, is going to have to break apart his ABC in Quentin's draw phase, or he can do it in response to the banishing of the Kaiju Slumber.
Yeah.
Wow, you sure are good at duel monsters.
And then he's going to be able to brick wall his opponent again with Crush Wyverns. There we go, yep. He's going to be able to brick wall his opponent with the Crush Wyverns. And then he might have access to play the Gofu if it comes up. Or he's just going to run his opponent over in the following turn with his overwhelming number of monsters.
Breathe.
There we go. Don't worry, guys. I got this. I got this. No caffeine required.
Got a bit passionate about the ABCs there, didn't you, Matt?
It's like I was trying to think of a way to explain it, and then it's just like, oh, but he could do this, but then this is going to happen, then that's going to happen. But what if he does this? That's the thing with so many decision trees open to these decks these days. It's not considering which flavor of Monarch you're going to be playing this turn, which always Erebus. There's just so many different, like, okay, but I can do this to interact with your field this way. And then they're like, okay, in that case, I do step 27 and do this, and now I've got a different field.
If you Erebus me one more time, Margaret. Look it up at home. Look it up at home.
the memes that our community comes out with, like, I'll be honest, guys, I do check out your forums and groups, and sometimes I do find a couple that make me just burst out laughing.
That was one of our
Does happen
favorites.
a lot.
That was one of our favorites.
I've not actually seen the one.
The Erebus one. I will
look at it.
Yeah.
In between rounds. Oh, something that I'm not sure we haven't mentioned is yesterday the LLDS finals happened with my beautiful colleagues here at the commentary desk. We'll be playing that in between every single round, so you will have basically a duel and then a duel happening, and as soon as the round's coming in, we'll cut off the footage from that and go straight to being live again, so you're literally going to get the entirety of the LLDS in between each of the rounds.
Yeah.
And if anybody complains, we'll show you Billy versus Joshua again.
I'll
There you
take
go.
team as thumbs up.
Yeah. Essentially, there should be non-stop Yu-Gi-Oh from now until the end of the day.
And
in theory.
In theory, should be no repeats today
Yeah.
at all.
Never make promises.
No. That's why we like to go with the words in theory.
In theory.
Theorio. As far as Theorio is concerned.
So the dimensional barrier has been played by Quentin, most
Fusion.
likely declaring fusion.
It indeed was. Our judges told us.
Ah, okay. So
Can't call Link.
yes, that's one of the big
That's a good
drawbacks to
point.
dimensional barrier.
Oh,
Ooh,
we're going
is
to see a
that
synchro
synchro?
summon.
Level 7. He's already used his ancient
Synchro
fairy.
Is that a Black Rose Dragon?
That looks like a Black Rose Dragon to me. But yeah, that is a Black Rose Dragon.
Yeah, it's fire.
Black Rose Dragon.
And it says Black Rose Dragon on it.
Probably not going to be triggering it.
No.
No, he is. He is. He's clearing the field.
No, he's not.
No, he's making a link summon. There we go, Borload.
Nice.
Boom. Effect.
Oh, okay. Quentin must have called. Oh, yeah, triple effects. There we go. He did call fusion.
How did he summon 2 there?
It's Crush Wyverns. So he gets his assault on the field will trigger, getting him a card back to his hand. 2 Crush Wyverns, then he throws 2 more guys down. That is going to be enough to get Tom there.
I don't think that's right. You can't activate. You can't actually activate C if you're.
He had one in his hand.
Oh, did
and
he?
Then yeah.
He did, yes.
And then he uses a chain to make sure Assault Core resolves. So he has a second one in hand.
Okay, I didn't see he had one in hand.
Yeah.
I didn't see he had one in hand.
Yeah, Tom running the math. I think he's got it there. Because he takes his opponent's A Assault Core and then runs 3,800 on the 2 Assault Cores and then 1,500 for the magic numbers.
Just explaining.
Yeah, I was just asking the judges to be totally sure about that.
Swing. Barlow Dragon there, one of our new cards.
Ball load. Excellent. There we go. And Tom is going to make the numbers and wins the duel, going on to round 2, undefeated after round 1. I guess maybe undefeated is a strong word to use.
To
after
use in
round
round
1.
True.
1, yeah.
It's true,
But
though.
it's true, he has been undefeated in the tournament so far. Amazingly, he has won round 1 of 1.
I do want to give a shout out to Quentin. I feel like he put up a good fight there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the stats were completely against him in terms of, like, actual duels that have been played in the previous season. But he had a very good fight, pushing it straight to game 3 there.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit more about that in our post-match discussion. And we're back. That was a really good game for Tom there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent game. Tom putting together all the numbers and stringing together the combos and making sure. I like the way he was fully remembered how to tar pit his opponent properly. So knowing even if my opponent goes Regeki, I can go Guy, you attack Guy, and then your opponent's just not able to get the attack through. When he's paid so many life points already in that game with his Destrudo effect and his solemn scolding.
Yeah.
Able to take that through. Quentin, game 1, definitely, even having his ABC Dragon Busters all ripped away from him,
Yeah.
was able to just go, okay, secure this threat and just keep pushing with it. And then that did get him there while Tom was drawing a bunch of hand traps, which his deck is, well, can happen when you build your deck this way. And that's something that might actually come up way more for Tom. But I think, as you mentioned before, against the Spiral matchup, that actually gives him, that stops the Spiral deck actually getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And maybe that would have been enough in that particular matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we know that ABC still have some sort of footing in the tournament from what we saw in Dallas.
Yeah.
Looking at it again now, live in front of us, do we think that it's going to perhaps take a top 32 spot again?
I'm completely still of the opinion as I had yesterday in the meta discussion we had. The decks that aren't Spiral right now, they're just going to reinforce their deck even more to be able to play against Spiral, seeing what happened in Dallas. I think people may have underestimated what Spiral could actually do, and then after seeing Dallas, they've gone, okay, no, we need to be main decking this stuff. People were, however much hand traps they wanted in their side decks, but you can see they've main decked a bunch of stuff. Even during the LLDS, we saw it, but we saw quite a lot of Spirals. So It's hard to tell, but we'll see. We'll see as the tournament progresses.
We'll definitely see. Okay, that is it for round one. We may be back very soon with an interview, but if not, stay tuned for more footage from YCS London 2017.